Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Veda. So, I'm scared. I'm very, very scared. But today's video is Autumn Readathon TBR time. So, this is from Emily Elizabeth Book Lover. I'll link her channel down below. But she has started this autumn reading challenge, and I'm thinking that it's gonna kind of be like Cassidy's like Summer of Love reading challenge, only this one there's more prompts, more reading prompts and no like activity prompts, which is fine. It's still gonna be a lot of fun, but I've been trying to hold myself accountable for my TBRs. Do I always succeed? Absolutely not. Am I trying to get better? Yes. And that's where we're going to start. So each row has 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, has 7 prompts. So that's 7 books for each row, and there are 5 rows. So that means there are 35 books on this TBR. Now, I am going to say that yes, I am trying to stick to TBRs when I make them, but if for some reason, like, say that I pick, like right now, Forest Animal on the cover, I have a lizard picked for that, and a book that has a lizard on the cover. If I end up reading The Jungle Book and it has a bear on the cover, I'm still gonna count it for the challenge, but it just means that I'm not good at sticking to TBRs, which we already know. However, I thought it'd be really fun to make a TBR video for this. So these are the books that I'm hoping to use for the Autumn Readathon. And it's taking place from September to November. So you have 3 months to read as many of these as you can. You don't really have to get a blackout. I'm just crazy, and I always try to do that when I do reading challenges because, as we already previously stated, I'm crazy. So that's fine. So we're going to start here, we're going to go across, and then we're going to keep going. Let's just jump into this TBR. I'm excited but nervous too. So the first, hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna put it there so I can sneak peeks at it when I need to. The first prompt is cozy read, and I'm gonna be real with you. This one changed the most amount of times. So if I don't read this for it, as long as I read something that I think is going to be a cozy book, then I think we're fine. But that is Be the Girl by K.A. Tucker. I have no expectations with this book. I have no idea what it's about. I just know that a few months ago at this point, I bought a lot of K.A. Tucker books. Haven't gone through all of them. I got through a good portion, I think like 4 or 5 K.A. Tucker books, where there's a time where that's all I was reading. And it's been really fun just enjoying some of K.A. Tucker's backlist. I really have been enjoying my time with this author. So let's just try and finish that off before the new year. Finish off the rest of K.A. Tucker's, like the lot that I got. Not all of K.A. Tucker's backlist, but the lot of books that I got that were K.A. Tucker. I only have 3 left. So, Be the Girl. Almost 16-year-old Aria Jones is starting over. New postal code, new last name, new rules. But she doesn't mind it. She doesn't mind because it means she can leave her painful regrets behind. In the bustling town of Eastmount, she can become someone else, someone better. With the Hartford family living next door, it seems she will succeed. Sure, Cassie may be the epitome of social awkwardness thanks to her autism, but she also offers an innocent and sincere friendship that Arya learns to appreciate. And Cassie's older brother, Emmett, a popular junior, a hockey player with a bright future. Well, Arya wishes that friendship could lead to something more. If he didn't already have a girlfriend, maybe it would. Interesting. Sounds pretty good. So, this is book 1. Might have to go check on that. Alright. Number 2 is a chilly or cold setting. I took this mostly from... It takes place in December. And December is usually pretty cold. Plus, it takes place in upstate New York. I feel like it gets chilly there during the winters. But I've never been to New York. So, correct me if I'm wrong. But for this one, I'm picking How Will I Know You by Jessica Treadway for cold setting. Because on a December day in upstate New York, the body of a high school senior, Joy, is discovered in the woods at the edge of a frozen pond. I'm assuming since it's frozen, it's cold, you know. Since her disappearance weeks earlier, Joy had been presumed drowned. But now an autopsy reveals that her death was not a simple tragic accident. Shows evidence of strangulation. So. Okay, and before this video started, I was scrolling Goodreads, and I found this book by Samantha Downing. It's her newest release, I believe. And I have it on Libby right now. So I think I'm going to count it because I still have it for another 18 days. It's too old for this by Samantha Downing. It's an 11-hour audiobook. It's due in 18 days, so if I wait until September to listen to it, then that will count. It's, I don't know, I really like Samantha Downing, and I think that it follows an older female main character who is also a serial killer. She might be out for revenge, but I don't remember for sure. I just know she's like a grandma that is also a serial killer. Need I say more? No. Okay, forest animal on the cover. I checked Mr. Google, and I asked if I could use a lizard as a forest animal, and Google said yes. So, since Professor Google said it was okay, I'm using Judgment in Stone by Ruth Rendell as a forest animal. It's it's a lizard. The lizard. Part of me kind of wants to wait until next year to read it because it takes place on Valentine's Day, but this is part of my 25 books in 2025 to read. It says, on Valentine's Day, 4 members of the Coverdale family, George, Jackie, Melinda, and Giles, were murdered in the space of 15 minutes. Their housekeeper shot them one by one in the blue light of a televised performance of Don Giovanni. When Detective Chief Superintendent William arrests Miss Parchman, 2 weeks later he discovered a second tragedy. The key to the Valentine's Day massacre, a private humiliation Parchman has guarded all her life, a brilliant wondering of character's motive, and the heady heady discovery of truth. A Judgment in Stone is among Ruth Rendell's finest psychological thrillers. So I've never heard of this, but I did get it for Christmas. So I'm trying to read every book that I get as a gift within a year. Yeah. So there's that. Okay. The next one is Witches, and I do not own a single book physically that has witches, but if editing Alita has done her job, then you just saw a bunch of options, and by a bunch I probably mean like 3. I can think of 3 books digitally that have some kind of witch in them, or I don't know, could I use occults? Because I do have cult books. Ooh. Hold. Okay, I lied. I do have Just Like Mother by Anne Heltzel. This is this follows this woman named Maeve. She escaped from the cult that she grew up in, and I think someone has tracked her down, but it has an occult. It has a cult, which cults are, you know, known to be religious and also practice witchcraft sometimes. I don't know if this one does, but I'm assuming that they do. So I'm gonna use this one for witch, unless I picked one of the other ones. So for this one, I'm giving myself options, okay? I'm allowed. Then we have Found Family. And this one is, I believe, like a literary thriller. And that's We Begin at the End by Chris Whittaker. I've heard that this is like All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood, which was beautiful and perfection, and also absolutely hated it, made me sob, like hurt me so bad. This one I don't know a whole lot about. It just says, right, wrong, life is lived somewhere in between. An extraordinary story about 2 kinds of families, the ones we are born into and the ones we create. Duchess is a 13-year-old girl trying to care for her little brother. Walk is the police chief of their small California town, trying to heal old wounds. They might not seem to have anything in common, but they are all each other has. When Duchess impulsively takes justice into her own hands, she inadvertently sets off a chain of events that will have tragic consequences for Walk and for everyone who has ever loved her. And then it says murder, revenge, heartbreak. Then autumnal foliage, so like leaves and such. Honestly, this one is the most likely to change. I don't actually see myself reading this. I bought it because it's a beautiful cover, and I shouldn't have bought it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but there's like, she's holding a guitar, and I don't like musical books. I don't know if that makes sense, but whatever. Discover a captivating friends to lovers contemporary romance that transcends boundaries in this heartwarming and steamy tale. The rules, okay, so they're best friends, and the rules are very clear. Their sex is off the table. They meet every October, and honesty is paramount. But I think that one or both of them fall in love with each other. Okay, we're starting on the next one. And it's a hot beverage or sweet treat on the cover. So I have a sweet treat. I have Never Planned on You by Lindsay Hammeroff. So I also tried to sneak all of my ARCs on to this TBR because I am so far behind on arcs, especially if you count NetGalley, but I'm not going to do that to myself because it was my goal to catch up on NetGalley, but you know what? We're over halfway through the year and I haven't even attempted that goal, so we're gonna forgive and forget. But this is an arc that I have physically. It was sent to me in January of 2024 and I haven't even attempted to read it. It's Never Planned on You by Lindsay Hammeroff. This is like a laugh out loud second chance romance of sorts. I'm wondering if she is a baker. Oh, she's a wedding planner. And Graham. Okay, so her name is Allie. She's a wedding planner. And Graham is the groom for her next wedding. But they used to be together. They used to be in love. But it was a while ago. That sounds good. But I mean, look at that cake. That's a sweet treat if I've ever seen one. I actually don't like cake. I don't. Anyways. One word title. For that, I'm gonna read Foe by Ian Reid. I have no idea what this is. It's a small town horror novel. That's all that I know. And Ian Reid, like, masterpiece. I cannot say anything else about Ian Reid because masterpiece, I'm sure. Masterful author. Finish a series, and I am 95% sure that both you are tired of hearing me talk about the series because I still have yet to start it. It's only a duology. It's only 2 books, and I've been saying that I'm going to read it all year. It's even on my 25 in 2025, and it's already September, and I have yet to even read the first one. So I'm gonna put Frigid and Scorched by Jennifer L. Armentrout on this TBR. I'm not gonna go into details about what this is, but I think they're contemporary. I think they're companion novels. So you don't have to read them in order, but of course I'm going to. I really want to read these. I have no excuse as to why I haven't. They've been on practically every TBR this year. So, get to it. Alright. Favorite trope, I'm gonna read The Night She Went Missing by Kristen Bird. This follows this girl named Emily who goes missing after a night of partying. It's her senior year in high school, and I really love the missing person trope. So I'm counting this for for favorite trope. Then we have a romantasy, and I might be cheating because I don't know if this is romance and fantasy or if it's just romance, but I literally have 2 fantasy books on my shelves that are unread. I do not read fantasy. I am not a fantasy girly at all. So the fact that I could find 2 fantasy books, both of them are going to be on this TBR because in the future, later on in this video, there's going to be a trope that's just read a fantasy. So I have my fantasy and what could be a romantasy. If it's not a romantasy, just, you know, ignore. Just ignore. And let me think what I'm going to think. So I told you that I had 3 K.A. Tucker books left from the lot that I bought. And one of them is a fantasy. I know that I love K.A. Tucker's contemporary work. I don't read fantasy, so I'm a little bit nervous. But this is A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. It says, gifted thief Ramira has flourished from her days as a street kid by stealing wallets to survive. Now she thrives stealing jewels from the rich under the employ of New York City's most notorious crime boss. But when a woman secures her services at sword point, Ramira is plunged into a startling realm of opposing thrones. Wearing elven and elemental magic she cannot begin to fathom. Her quest is straightforward. Steal a stone from Isler's scared garden without anyone discovering her true identity, which would earn her certain death. But the identity she has inexplicably assumed is that of the captured Yabazon princess, an enemy to Isler, after she poisoned their beloved king and queen on the day she was to marry the prince. Her betrothed, the newly crowned king, detests her with every grain of his handsome being. Ooh. Okay, and then she pretends to be the queen, this smitten queen, who falls in love with the king. So I think it's a romantasy. I think I did good on this one. I'm very nervous. Even just reading the back of that, there were a lot of words that were wording, and I'm scared. But I do want to read K.A. Tucker, so here we go. Okay, then a new release. So released between September and November. I have another arc. This one comes out November. I don't know what day in November. But The Forest of Missing Girls by Nichelle Grilladas. I'm very sorry. The forest is hungry and her family secrets are tangled in the trees. Leah always hoped to outrun her fear of the woods surrounding her childhood home. The dark, menacing trees have long been the site of whispered legends and disappearances of girls like her. But after a breakup sends her back to live with her family, the woods feel more sinister than ever. Oh my god. Oh, on sale November 11th of this year. So, another arc on this list. Don't be surprised if there's a lot of arcs and or books that have been sent to me within the past 2 years, because like I said, I'm very far behind. Alright, our last one for this row is a book that is a TBR vet. So it means that you've had it on your shelves for more than a year. That would be A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kazuko Jackson. This one sounds really, really cute, and it's also been on a couple of TBRs this year, and I haven't read it yet. So, this is like a foodish romance, which love. It's a male-male romance, and you follow Logan, who is the chef at his own restaurant. He hires Xavier to be a prep cook because Xavier very down on his luck. He's been through a bad breakup, moved back home, and they don't like each other at first, but then I think that they fall in love slowly, and I'm just excited to try it. Now we're on the third row. So the third row starts with vampires. And I only have one book that has vampires that I haven't read yet. Because I don't read books about vampires. Not because I have so many favorite vampire books. For for this one, it would be Salem's Lot. I don't know. Here's the thing. I have yet to read The Shining or Salem's Lot from this big, beautiful edition. And when I bought it, I promised my husband that I would keep this book forever and ever and ever because it's a special edition and I fell in love with the beauty of it. I didn't love Carrie. I don't think I'm gonna love that other two because I don't love Stephen King. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with him. So I kind of want to sell it back to the bookstore, just get a bunch of credit, but I also don't want my husband to be mad because he made me promise that I'd keep it forever, but he knows me so well, and the thing is that, like, it's such a beautiful edition, like, and because it's such a beautiful edition, I kind of want to keep it, but I'm really trying to only keep books that bring me joy, and although there are some Stephen King books that are really good, in general, Stephen King is not my favorite author. I'm sorry. No offense, okay? Oh. Okay, the next one is a mystery thriller. So I leaned more into the mystery, but it's definitely a thriller too. This is The House Beyond the Dunes by Mary Burton. This follows Lane, who wakes up in a hospital, and she survived a fall inside her cottage in North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. But her boyfriend Kyle died. And it was like their first trip together. They've only been together for a few weeks. And she decides when she's released from the hospital that she'll go back to the cottage to investigate what actually happened because she has no memory of what happened. And then somehow she gets isolated inside the house where the accident happened, where Kyle died, where she lost all of her memories, where she fell. There's no electricity. I think it's a really bad storm, and she's just trying to survive. So, yes, please. Takes place in the fall, and like I said, I'm trying to get rid of all my arcs. This came out in July. I probably got it at the end of May, and you know the drill. I did not read it yet, so I used my friend Google again to see if this takes place in the fall, and Google said that a good portion of the story takes place in the fall, so I am going to be counting that. I know that you could pick a book that takes the entirety of the book takes place in the fall, but I'm stretching where I need to get my must-reads on here. Okay? I'm not even gonna lie to you. All the Men I've Loved Again by Christine Pride. This says it's 1999 and Cora has arrived at college ready to change her life. She's determined to grow out of the shy, sheltered daddy's girl who attended an all-white prep school in her all-white suburb. Ooh. What she's totally unprepared for is Lincoln, with his dark skin, charming southern drawl, and smile. Because how can you ever prepare yourself for the roller coaster of first love? Yeah. Paranormal. For that, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but again, it's a book that's been on all the TBRs this year that I have not got to yet. This is The Black Phone Stories by Joe Hill. This follows Finney, who is kidnapped and left in this psychopath's basement. All he has in the basement with him is this rusty old phone that doesn't work anymore until the first night he gets a phone call from the psychopath's previous victim. And there are 13 previous victims, so each night, 13 nights, the phone rings and his previous victims are trying to help Finney get to escape before he becomes the next victim. That sounds so good, but here's the thing. I don't like short story collections, and each story, like, of his previous victims calling is written like a short story of what happened to them and also how they're trying to help Finney escape. So I'm a little nervous for this one, but I also really want to read it. Okay. Then a creepy cover is this one. I like the eyes, like she's looking into your soul. It's called Don't Wake Up by Liz Lawler. The nightmare starts when she opens her eyes. So this is her debut. Okay, when Dr. Alex Taylor opens her eyes, she's hooked up to an IV, restrained to an operating table, her legs raised in stirrups. Disoriented and alarmed, she assumes she has anesthesia and brought to surgery after being in an accident. But the man standing over her with his face hidden behind a surgical mask and wielding instruments is no physician she recognizes at the hospital where she works as a doctor. He's a stranger, and he's calmly telling her how he's about to attack her. Before Alex can even scream for help, she succumbs to another dose of anesthesia, rendering her unable to defend herself. So when she wakes up and she's actually in the hospital, there's no evidence of an assault, so no one believes her. But she's a respected doctor. Why would she make it up? This one sounds so good. But it's been on my TBR for a long time. Okay, features, games, or trials. For this one, I'm reading The Intern by Michelle Campbell. So, I own this on NetGalley. I got it in 2022 from NetGalley. The end of 2022, beginning of 23. Yeah. Sorry. Haven't read it yet. But I own a physical copy. I own the ebook copy. I don't care how I read it. This needs to be read so that I can make a review on NetGalley and get my percentage up. That might be a next year problem too. But at least I can start that project in 2025. But you follow the intern, who is a law intern with this judge. And I'm pretty sure that there's trials that she has to cover. I don't know what the book is about. I just know it's like a legal thriller. So the last one is a book with warm colors. I looked at the color wheel, and this is just such a soft and relaxing cover. This one was sent to me before it was published as hey, you should read this, and you should give me a okay, it came out this year, so it hasn't, it's been a while, but I think I got it towards the beginning of the year, if I'm being honest. But I got it and I was supposed to read it. But anyways, look at how beautiful the sprayed edges are. 40-Year Kiss by Nicholas Butler. This follows these two, Charlie and Vivian, who got divorced like 40 years ago. They were only married for 4 years, for 4 years. And the love never really died, but for circumstances, they had to divorce. And they moved away. And Charlie hasn't been back to his small hometown since the divorce 40 years ago. But they're both still madly in love with each other if they would just, talk to each other and tell each other how the other one feels. This can be very literary fiction, which I tend to love, but it's hard for me to want to pick up literary fiction, and maybe that's why I haven't read it yet. But I am excited. When I do read literary lit fic, I usually always enjoy it. Usually. But I've just been scared to read this one. Not because it's scary. It's not scary. It's going to be beautiful and probably ruin my life. All at the same time. Okay. Then we're on the next row 4, which is up here because I couldn't put it anymore down here. Anyways, a book that features family. So this one's probably gonna crush me. This is Room to Breathe by Liz Talley. This is like a mother-daughter story, and I think that Daphne is the daughter. I think that her mom... the mom is Daphne, the daughter is Ellery. Ellery is off to college, and Daphne has started dating Ellery's much younger ex-boyfriend. And that's all that I know. I just know that it's going to be messy and complicated, as mother-daughter relationships are most of the time. So I'm a little nervous, but we're gonna give it a shot. Then a small town setting. This one is yet another one that was sent to me, and Providence, Rhode Island. Rhode Island is a very small state. Providence is a fairly small city. I'm counting this. This is Compassion in the Court, Life-Changing Stories from America's Nicest Judge by Frank Caprio. This man just died yesterday, the day before, a couple of days ago. He was on the bench for the judge bench for several years, like 30 years, my entire life pretty much. And he cared more about the stories that people brought, not the fact that, you have 5 unpaid parking tickets, what are you, dumb? No, he was so kind, and he rolled the bench with kindness, as one should. So it is a nonfiction book, but it takes place in a real small town, and I have been wanting to read this, but now the fact that Frank died just shot it up to the top of my TBR. That's weird. But I have been wanting to read this, and it was sent to me. I think that is all the books that I've been sent within the past 2 years that I haven't read. So I guess the past year. I didn't have any from last year. Unless you count The Intern, because that's on NetGalley, but I did buy myself that copy. So I don't know if that counts. But then a chunky book. So for a chunky book, I have the complete novels of Jane Austen, and I mean, this is beautiful. I was supposed to read all 6 novels of Jane Austen in 2024. I read Emma, Northanger Abbey, and Persuasion, but I did not get to Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Mansfield Park. And we are most of the way done with 2025, and I have not read Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, or Mansfield Park. So, for the chunky book prompt, I'm going to read all 3 of them and count it as one because it is one book. Am I crazy? Probably. But I really want to read all of them. The 3 that I've read so far, Northanger Abbey, beautiful. Like, 6-star book. Emma, I enjoyed it. It was like 4 stars. Persuasion was my least favorite of the 3, but I still enjoyed it. It's just, sometimes it takes a lot of brain power to read Jane Austen because the words are way different. But here we are. Gonna finish this in the next 3 months. I mean, I could do 1 a month and we'd be good, right? Yeah, we're gonna do it. Okay. Spicy romance. Well, it's dark or spicy, but I don't really have any dark romance that I haven't read. And I'm still dipping my toes into dark romance, but I don't know. For right now, I don't want a dark romance book. So, I have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I've heard that this is spicy. So, I'm going in thinking that hopefully it's a lot of spice. It's a hockey romance, and I love sports romance. I especially love hockey romance, but any sports romance is my middle name. Lita Sports Romance McDermott. No, that's weird. But I think that this captain of the hockey team and Anastasia is a gymnast and ice skater. They're at the University of California, Maple Hills. So this also takes place at a school, but I've heard that's really smutty. So there's that. Okay, spell a fall word. I might have cheated, but we'll talk about it. It says spell a fall word using the title of the book. I'm going to be reading The Opposite of Fate by Allison McGee. I used other words too. So if you see P, let's see, U for author, M for times, P, and K is York, like New York. P-U-M-P-K. I is Allison. N is also Allison. So I used all the words on the front cover to make the word pumpkin. This is going to kill me. Like, literally dead. Kill me. So I'm no longer breathing, just so you know. 21-year-old Mala Williams is viciously assaulted. She's attacked, and that attack leaves her in a coma. It also leaves her pregnant. And this is like the story of everyone around her, what they want to do. So there's going to be some people in her life that want to abort the feces. to abort the fetus, and some that are saying Mally wouldn't want that. Mally would never want an abortion. And so I'm sure it's going to be hard-hitting and all that kind of stuff. It's only 260 pages, but oh my god, I know this one's gonna make me sob. If I don't sob, then we have issues. Then there's, hold on. I had one for this, but I don't know. Is Nice Girls a gothic book? Okay, I forgot that the next prompt is gothic, like a gothic book. For that, I'm going to be reading The Shining by Stephen King. That way I can get this big boy done. I think I'll be better prepared if I finish this Stephen King. I mean, it's so pretty. And my pretty edition of Jane Austen, like such big, beautiful books. So there's that. And then we have mood read. So technically I could pick any book for mood read, and that's probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's just leave mood read open for whatever I want. Get out of here. I love you, but go over there, bud.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we're on the last row. Finally made it. So the first one is a book with a cool color on the cover. This is a very blue book. For Twice in My Life by Annette Christie. So this one follows this woman named Layla, sorry. She's been with Ian for a while, and he's like the dream guy until they break up. And no, I need to finish, Eric. You can go. Thank you. So he breaks her heart. He broke up with her, but Ian has been in a very bad motorcycle accident, so the hospital calls because she's still his emergency contact, and she goes to the hospital and he doesn't remember breaking up. He thinks that they're madly in love, and she goes with it at first until his brother shows up, and then things get complicated and messy. And this one sounds very reminiscent of like Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I love, so I'm excited for that one. Then there's trees on the cover. For this one, I'm picking palm trees. Palm trees count for trees, okay? I don't care what you say. Those are palm trees in the back. This is Not Safe for Work. Work Was Easier When He Was Still Her Nemesis by Nisha J. Tooley. And these two are work rivals. They don't like each other. They're work rivals. I love you. I'll see you later, okay? Okay.
Well, I'm gonna work with Daddy.
Okay, go work with Daddy then.
It was hard work.
It was hard work? Yeah. Good. Sorry, guys. But they both go to Hawaii. They get sent to Hawaii for work. And whoever does a better job gets this promotion. And so they're rivals, but I think that they end up falling in love, and it's gonna be all like cutesy and everything. Then there's Haunted House. Can we just rewind? So for Gothic, I'm picking Nanny Dearest by Flora Collins. It says, although it's not technically a Gothic book, it has the characteristics of a Gothic book. And then for Haunted House vibes, we're gonna pick The Shining. So I have to pick both of them. Anyway, I think that's what we decided on. And then a horror novel is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. Here's the thing. I picked this because it was in the 101 horror novels to read before you're murdered as a recommendation. I don't know if it's actually horror. It says science fiction. But because it's in the 101 horror books to read before you're murdered recommendations books that I'm trying to get back into reading those, I'm gonna count it for a scary book. It also sounds very scary because Dana is a modern black woman, is celebrating her 26th birthday when her new husband when she is snatched abruptly from her home in California and transported to the antebellum South. Rufus, the white son of a plantation owner, is drowning, and Dana has been summoned across the years to save him. After this first summons, Dana is drawn back again and again and again to the plantation to protect Rufus and ensure that he will grow to manhood and father the daughter who will become Dana's ancestor. Yet each time Dana's trips become longer and more dangerous until it is uncertain whether or not her life will end long before it has even began. So, yeah, that sounds terrifying. I'm going to count it as a horror novel, even if that says sci-fi. Sci-fi horror. It's a thing. Fire on the cover. So for that one, there's like fire. Yeah. And it's Not Your Average Hawkeye by Gwenda Bond. He may look like an angel, but he's actually a devil. And they start dating. And the apocalyptic beach read that everyone needs. That's all I needed to know. So it's an apocalypse, but it's like a romance too. It sounds great. Here's the thing. I know that this is a series. If this is not the first in the series, then we will not be reading this. We will be reading Inferno. No, we won't. We will be reading something else that Alita has put up here if this is not the first in the series. I know it's a series. I don't know which book is the first in the series, though. Woo! Okay. A school setting. For school setting, we're going to read Wicked Serve by Grace Riley. Okay, for school setting, we're going to read Nice Girls by Catherine Dang. I think that this is dual timeline, and the earlier timeline is them in high school, and now it's like 10 years later, and this girl from their class has gone missing, and they are trying to figure out what happened to her. I believe, I could be wrong, don't quote me. And the last book is the only other fantasy book that I have on my shelves. It's Aragon by Christopher Paolini. It's like very big. It's young adult. It's fantasy. All of these these words are an absolute no-go for me. There's a dragon on the cover, so I'm assuming there's a dragon and a dragon like rider. It might even take place at a academy for like magical people, like Harry Potter. I don't know. I've never read it. I have no idea. I just happen to have a couple of fantasy books on my shelf. And yes, it scares me, but I know that was a longer video. But I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.